Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Business and government officials have fears of a meat shortage amid the coronavirus pandemic. As production plants close and people panic buy, a North Dakota rancher is changing her business plan to stay afloat. Valley News Team's Alexandra Kay tells you how she's bringing her product directly to customers.
As COVID-19 began to break out, meat processing plants began to churn into hotspots for the spread of the virus. President Donald Trump this week announced these plants are essential and must reopen, as some of the larger ones closed due to safety concerns. An example, the Smithfield Pork Processing Plant in Sioux Falls. Lacey Block is a sixth-generation rancher from Havana and owner of Ranchers Rebellion Beef Company. She says she's had to think of new ways to bring in money.
This has to be about the last-ditch effort on how to make your ranching operations profitable while you're trying to fight a marketplace that's not set up for success right now for producers.
On Thursday, Block and her dad packed a trailer full of meats and came to Fargo to deliver farm fresh cuts directly to those that wanted to buy them. People lined up at the old Kmart parking lot while maintaining 6 feet to buy anything from T-bone steaks to soup bones.
It's a good time just to get back to our roots and try to buy local and try to buy from our farmer neighbors and produce from our gardens that are local rather than supporting the global machine at this point.
David Belkey says not only is he happy to support a local business, but also knowing where the meat he's serving his family came from is at the top of his list.
We think it's very important, even after this pandemic and before, that country of origin labeling should be back in place, and maybe even specific state, because all I'm looking for today is North Dakota beef.
Ranchers Rebellion meat is in 4 gas stations across the state. Block says she saw the need for farm fresh meats in the city as store shelves were coming up empty. According to a federal report, beef production was down 25%.
We don't want you guys to feel like there's a shortage. We want people to be comfortable, and we want people to eat USA raised beef.
Block says her prices will remain the same even if prices at big retailers increase. In Fargo, Alexandra Kay, Valley News Live.
If you missed them today, Ranchers Rebellion Beef Company says that they plan to be to Fargo again in a couple of weeks. Block also says she wants to help other ranchers who are looking for ways to bring their product directly to customers. New tonight at 10, 2 men have been arrested in connection with shots fired in an area of Jamestown this morning. Investigators report that 25-year-old Justin Mickelson and 34-year-old James Goodroad are in custody, facing multiple charges. Mickelson was arrested for discharging a firearm within city limits and reckless endangerment. Both men are also facing several drug charges, including possession with intent to deliver. In North Dakota, 30 more cases of coronavirus have been reported today, bringing the total to 1,067. The death toll remains at 19. 458 people have recovered from the virus. You can find a complete breakdown of the numbers for each state by clicking on these stories on the VNL News app. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, the positive COVID cases are now above 5,000. Today, the state is reporting a total of 5,136 cases. That's an increase of 492 from the day before. 24 more people have died, bringing the death toll to 343. 2,172 people are listed as recovered. People in Minnesota will have to wait a little longer before the state's stay-at-home order will be lifted. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has extended the order until May 18th. It was set to expire on Monday. Despite the extension, restrictions on retail business are being eased, and the governor is crediting state residents for being responsible. Retailers are being asked to make a plan outlining how they will reopen while following public health guidelines. A senior care center in Minnesota is reporting that 47 residents have died as a result of the virus. St. Therese of New Hope in Robbinsdale said 130 residents at the 258-bed facility have been infected, as well as 65 staff members. They say they're starting to see the number of new cases decline. Of their positive cases, 1/3 of the patients did not show symptoms. The facility has now tested 100% of its residents and is waiting for the remaining results. A driver going the wrong way on Interstate 94 caused a crash that took his life and injured 5 others, including 3 young children. Rodell Kramer was driving a pickup truck eastbound in the westbound lanes of Interstate 94 yesterday in Bismarck when he crashed into a pickup with 5 people inside, including children ages 4, 6, and 8. Kramer was pronounced dead at the scene. Those in the Ford truck were taken to a Bismarck hospital. Their conditions remain unknown. The mother of a Moorhead murder suspect is speaking out tonight, saying the system failed everyone involved in Destiny Avery's murder. 28-year-old Andrea Payne is one of 3 charged with helping cover up Avery's murder, while 27-year-old Ethan Broad is charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Payne's mother said she tried to get Andrea help for years, but says she hit roadblocks every time.
She's borderline. She rides the fence post, and this is where the problem is. This is what I can't commit her. I can't, I stand back and I can't do anything.
Payne adds that in no way she's excusing the gruesome acts against Destiny Avery. Rather, she says more needs to be done to prevent people like Andrea Payne from falling through the cracks. Payne is currently being held on a $500,000 bond. She and the other 3 suspects in this case are set to be in court next month. President Donald Trump has proclaimed the month of May Older Americans Month. The president announcing new initiatives to help America's most vulnerable citizens get through this challenging time. Now, that includes $81 million to increase inspections at nursing facilities, as well as additional shipments of personal protective equipment to all Medicaid, Medicare certified nursing homes.
My administration will never waver in its relentless commitment to America's seniors. We owe them a sacred and unbreakable obligation, and we will fulfill that obligation with every resource and power that we have. We are working very hard with our seniors, and we're working very hard with our nursing homes.
Even with millions of Americans filing for unemployment, millions more say they are not getting approved. And now states say that they're running out of money, having to redo their budgets for the remainder of the year. Gabe Gutierrez explains.
This is Gabe Gutierrez. As the Navy's hospital ship Comfort departed New York today, a moving salute from the city's first responders. Now there are new questions about whether their jobs could soon be on the line without help from the federal government.
The state has a $13 billion deficit. They have provided us nothing. Nothing for police, nothing for firefighters.
Across the country, state and local governments are facing crushing budget shortfalls due to cratering tax revenues. One report estimates states will be short more than $200 billion over the next fiscal year. 21 states would have to fill budget gaps of at least 10%. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has suggested states could declare bankruptcy.
We're not interested in borrowing money from future generations to send down to states to help them with bad decisions they've made in the past, unrelated to the coronavirus epidemic.
Will you be able to fill this huge budget shortfall without deep cuts to the police and fire departments?
No, there's no way.
Nan Whaley is the mayor of Dayton, Ohio, which has already furloughed nearly 500 city workers.
We need to have federal assistance because those frontline services, 1, are so important, and number 2, they help keep the economy moving.
The toll on government workers has been grueling. Today, mourners said their final goodbye to 5-year-old COVID victim Skylar Herbert, the daughter of 2 first responders in Detroit. In New Jersey, state police civilian employee Latasha Andrews was just 33 years old. 3 other members of her family have also died.
She's just an all-around amazing person, always really giving 100%.
Local governments are redoing their budgets right now, and many say they'll have to consider drastic cuts by June.